Hello and welcome to Arrows of Indecision. This is Hennock, my 2mm fine scale layout. You'll see I have done some ballasting, which is quite nice. In this case, I used tremendous Normandy earth, and I fixed it in place with pledge, which if I go into here, I can show you this stuff. This floor wax, floor polish, sorry. It dries absolutely clear. It doesn't tint. It doesn't stain. It's really amazing, and that's what I've been doing here. The layout itself, it's not perfect, but I've got to the stage now where I'm going to push through to try and learn lessons on the way. So one of those was around the control of points. So I found it, although I can control them with my DCC controller, this guy over here, it's actually really awkward. You got to press this button. You got to then choose the turnout you want. You got to press this button up here, and then it, as you see, then it moves. But actually, what I found to be much more pleasurable is to use toggle switches. So that same thing. You see, this is a center off sprung switch. So they return to the middle, and there we go. That's the turnout blade moving, and these are fitted onto the cobalt digitals natively, so that it works really nicely. So I've got this switch here for this throat turnout, this one for here, and this one is connected to both of these. So one switch will move both of those point blades across. Which is amazing, really, because before I kept switching to turnout number 3 and forgetting that number 4 was in the opposite position, and I'd get a short as the train went through there. So that's great. And over here, you can't really, there's nothing there, but that's an uncoupler. You might be able to hear it. That's the alternating current running through a magnet that's just underneath here. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you how I've done that with the cobalt digitals. So if I flip the layout onto its back, I'm going to turn off the light because it's obviously going to cast a bunch of shadows. So these are the cobalt digitals. So these are the feeds. This is my power bus, red to the rear, and black to the front. So black is left and front, and red is right and rear, depending on which way you're looking at it. So these are the power feeds to the cobalts, and this green is to the frog in the middle. So I'm powering the frogs or the common crossings on all of my points using this method. And here is the extra bit which goes to the toggle switch. So essentially you've got, this is all covered in the manual, but you've got 3 things here for left, common, right. So 3 wires going to a center off switch, and you want a center off switch because you only want to pulse the direction once. You don't want it to latch. So that's there and there. And over this side, I have got 1 switch going to 2 cobalts with the chocolate block connector in the middle. So I can adjust this in the future if I need to, and this allows me, if these were the wrong way around, as in they were going to be constantly opposite each other rather than aligned, you can flip these around here, flip them around here on the right wiring, and they would fire properly. And the uncoupler is just as you see here. So this is a power wire going from the bus wire up into this momentary contact push button, and then down onto one terminal of the uncoupler, and then a negative wire onto the right hand side. So I've actually got somewhere over here, yes, here, these are fast switching diodes which you put between, if I put one in between this power bus and the wire, then it stops power going backwards. So effectively it becomes, my understanding of it at least, is it becomes DC for all intents. It becomes like a pulsed DC rather than alternating, and I think that might be better for this uncoupler. I haven't actually tried this. I haven't actually got any uncouplings on any of my stock, so that's there. But this is all wired up, and what I'm actually going to be doing is adding LEDs. So there'll be LEDs either side of all of these switches, which will show the current position of the points. Unfortunately, I ordered 3mm casings for the LEDs, and then I ordered 10mm LEDs, which is no good to anyone. So I've got 3mm LEDs on order, and so those will be drilled in there. I get not any real justification for it. It's pretty simple to see, just look into the layout and see where the points are. But I want to kind of belt and braces this stuff. One of the things I hadn't factored in, for example, is on this uncoupler, they actually look, if I find one over here, this is what they look like. I've got one that's out of the packet, but it's got this big peg on top. And I actually ran this straight into here and ripped up half the track by pushing it too hard. And it's only when I remembered here, I've got these little slices of hardwood to raise the uncoupler away from the baseboard so that it just touches the bottom of the track rather than pushing it up. So that was a great wake-up call, and I wouldn't have experienced that if I'd just done it in a vacuum. So other things have happened on the layout since I've last done a video. So excuse me, I'm just going to plug the light back in, flip it back up. So yeah, a number of things have happened. So I accidentally added too much weathering powder onto here. When I did the original ballasting, you can still see sections of it in the middle where it's gone green, and that was when I used a ballast magic from Deluxe Materials, and it turned the ballast green. There's lots of stuff on here that's not perfect, but I'm going to push forward just to see what these things, how to do these things in a layout rather than in a lab. I'm pretty sure I could ballast track away from a layout, but having a layout and ballasting it and it going wrong and figuring out how to fix it was actually really a useful learning experience. So I've got a station building here. I've got a good shed to stick here. This is going to be hard standing over here. Got some walls to build. Got some water to put over here, and then a bunch of ground cover. So I've got a fair amount to do in the sense of tasks, but none of it's going to cost very much money, and it won't actually take too long, and I'll get the layout to a presentable condition pretty rapidly, I think. So that's my goal, even though there are problems. Like if we look at the track work, it's just, although it's fine, it's not perfect. You can see here there's nicks in the rail. There's over here there's a kink in the curve, and where I had to splice some extra rail in. I need to get rid of all the ballast on top of the rails. These two are okay, but I'm having problems with derailments on this turnout. So there's lots of things that need to be rectified, but I'm hoping that I can use this as a way to learn on the go. So that's my update, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how to use these. Certainly this is going to make operating it much more pleasurable. So thanks very much.